When Kemi came back from work, she was surprised to see the door open. On entry, she saw her husband Tita and his mother, Mama Helena. Kemi said, "Mama, you are welcome. You didn't inform me you were coming. I would have prepared something special for you." But Mama replied rudely, saying, "I don't need to inform you when I want to come to my son's house. The house belongs to my son, and anything that belongs to my son belongs to me." Kemi looked at her feet sadly as she moved into the room to change. Her husband followed her in the room and said, "Don't mind Mama, she just had a long day." In an African village, there lived a woman named Helena. She was the third wife to the wise and renowned witch doctor in the village. Anytime Helena gave birth, her children will pass away. Rumors spread around the village that other witch doctors in the village trying to compete with her husband swallowed the children in her womb. So before she gave birth, the children would die in her womb. When Helena heard this rumor, she had just found out that she was pregnant. She decided to hide her pregnancy from everyone. When it was 3 months to her due date, she traveled to another village not known to others. She gave birth to a bouncing baby boy, giving him a name from the village of his birth, Tita. She did this so the witch doctors who planned to kill her children would not know that the child was hers. Years passed and she brought Tita back to his father's village. Mama Helena was an illiterate, and because of this, she would believe any local gossip she heard from her fellow women in the village. In the years that followed, Mama Helena gave birth to many other children. She sent some to her faraway cousins, but she kept Tita by her side. Tita grew up to be very responsible. Whenever her husband would give her food, Mama Helena would cut half. So when Tita was going to school, she would have something to give him because she knew whatever her husband gave her son for school was not much. Tita graduated from the university and became a teacher. He led the village to the city where he was posted to teach in a certain secondary school in the city. One day, as Tita went out with his colleagues to drink beer at the local bar, he met Kemi, his secondary school mate. Though they had studied different things in school, reuniting was amazing. Kemi was a very beautiful girl. Unlike her peers, Kemi did not go to the university because she had to find a job to send her siblings to school. Kemi's mother had 9 children from 4 different men. And at the end of the day, she decided to build a house and stay there with all her 9 children. Kemi worked as an account clerk in a firm in the city. Months passed, and Kemi and Tita frequently met at the market. One thing led to another, and they met each other's families and friends. Tita finally asked for Kemi's hand in marriage, and they got married. They were very happy. But all that took a turn when Mama Helena came to the city to live with Tita and Kemi. One day, when Kemi came back from work, she was surprised to see the door open. On entry, she saw her husband Tita and his mother, Mama Helena. Kemi said, "Mama, you are welcome. You didn't inform me you were coming. I would have prepared something special for you." But Mama replied rudely, saying, "I don't need to inform you when I want to come to my son's house. The house belongs to my son, and anything that belongs to my son belongs to me." Kemi looked at her feet sadly as she moved into the room to change. Her husband followed her in the room and said, "Don't mind Mama, she just had a long day." Tita decided to further his studies for a better pay. So he had to move to another city, entrusting Kemi with the house. Every day, Mama Helena and her friends would say bad things about Kemi in her presence. What didn't they say about her? They called her barren. They said she used her womb for witchcraft to trap Tita so he can marry her. They called her extravagant. They called her a prostitute. And they expressed how they hated the fact that she is using their son's money anyhow. Every day, Kemi would weep in her room till her eyes were swollen. Slowly, rumors began to spread and people in the village started calling Kemi names. Looking at her with disgust, they would sit in their group meetings and plan how to send somebody to seduce Kemi. So Tita would drive her from the house. But Kemi was a very prayerful and faithful wife. As the rumors reached Mama Helena's ears, she refused to eat any food Kemi cooked. She would go to her friend's house and carry food. In a few weeks, Mama Helena left the house without informing Kemi. Kemi later heard from her neighbors that Mama had gone back to the village. When Tita came back for holidays, he saw his wife troubled and he said, "My queen, since I came back, I have noticed you do not look happy. Did something happen in my absence?" Kemi replied, "No, my king. Everything is well. Though I want a child that will be by my side when you are away." Tita replied, "God will give us a child. God's time is the best. Just be patient." One fateful morning, as weeks passed and her husband left again, Kemi knelt down to pray and she said, "Father, if you be for me, then who can be against me? You said in Exodus 14 verse 14, the Lord will fight for you, and you have only to be silent. Father, I am broken. I am being mocked at every turn, and I feel abandoned. Please, Lord, I need a fruit of the womb. I need to put my enemies to shame." Few months later, Kemi was with a child. Days turned to weeks and weeks turned to months. And when Tita graduated, Kemi gave birth to a bouncing baby boy. While at the hospital, Mama Helena came to apologize with tears in her eyes. She had just realized that she should have trusted her son's judgment over that of rumors. Tita spoke to his mother. "Mama, my wife is my joy, my bond. I trust her with my life. You should have known better. You should have acted better in my absence." Mama Helena replied crying, "I am so sorry, my son. Please forgive me, my daughter." Those who spoke ill of Kemi now came before her like Mama Helena, begging for forgiveness. And both Kemi and Tita forgave them. Kemi's baby brought joy and happiness in her marriage life, and her relationship with her mother-in-law grew. Mama Helena visited them frequently, helping Kemi to take care of the baby. And while Kemi was the happiest mother ever, few years later, she gave birth again. and again and again. And in no time, she had an amazing family of 6, built on the foundation of love and prayers.